everybody, CW here. Okay, we're on the range and I've got the 300 hammer. I want to test these loads that we loaded up, and we filed the tips off so that we could seat the bullets properly. It gained us a little bit of powder capacity, and we're going to make sure we got cycling and we got accuracy, and I really don't expect to find any kind of problem doing this as far as bullet performance. And I don't think it's going to affect accuracy in and of itself. Now, seating the bullet out farther is going to change the relationship to the ogive and the rifling, so that could have an effect on accuracy. But the fact that it has no tip inside the yardages I'm going to be shooting, it's going to make no difference. But we may find, something else going on that is not what we want. So this is our top load with the X on the bottom. Then we got a load here with just a stripe. And we got a load here, probably has a ring. Yeah, a ring around the primer. And our starting load is a clean primer. This is all brand new Wilson 300 hammer brass. So we're going to test. I've got some other stuff here. This is an existing load. This is an existing load. And this one here is another ladder. Actually, it's two ladders with a 135 FTX bullet and the 130 Spear flat point. I've got them written down here, but I don't know what the loads are. I reflect them on those numbers back on my bench. So I don't need the load numbers out here. I don't need to know what the powder is. I just need to differentiate one load from the other. So we got one goes up and then one goes up. And then of course we got totally different bullets. So that's a Spear load. You can tell flat point. And this one here is probably a top load with the FTX, and it's a red pointy. So no problem mixing them up. They're all plainly marked for their charges. So we just go from there. We start at the bottom, which is always a clean primer. And we stop when we find pressure signs or problems. And we go back and we look at the accuracy, and then we choose, and then we load more. So that's that. This one over here, this is more 300, and this is a different seating depth. And this was an existing load. Yeah, this is 150 mag tip. I don't like these bullets for the 300 hammer. They're a little bit tougher than I want. It's 150 grain. The velocity is a little bit lower, and I don't believe they're going to perform the way I want them to. So I loaded them because I only had a few to try them, and that's all I'm going to do. But I probably didn't even need to do that. This bullet here is the 125 Sierra SB Pro Hunter, I think. Pro Hunter SBT. I forget what their initials are, but it's a Pro Hunter 125. And this shot really good. I believe this is all the same load. Yeah. And then again over here, like I said, this is an existing load. Actually, it's a few existing loads. This was a 110. This is, that's an FTX bullet. This is a 125 SST. I didn't like these because I had to seat them so deep. The bullet works good in blackout, so I know it would work good in here, but I got to seat them so deeply, I don't like them. It gets on the ogive of the bullet, and it looks funny, and I don't like it. So I'm not going to load those. And that's the biggest reason for cutting the tips on these. They allow me to seat the bullet out where it looks correct. And again, performance-wise, it's not going to make any difference because we're only shooting inside 200 yards. All right, so let's get over here. Made no changes to the rifle. Well, I added this because of the bog pod tripod, but I didn't bring it out today because it's a Saturday and I expected a lot of people to be here, and I didn't want to be fitzing around on the line. And as it turns out, there's nobody here. There's my buddy on the pistol range down there, but that's it. So nobody on the rifle range, just me. And I got the chronograph set up, and I want to see if we can see. It looks like we'll be able to read that because the new phone has 15 power instead of just, what was the other one, 3? It's digital, but so what? We got it so we can read that. And I've also got my binoculars here on the bench, which I was smart enough to put in my bag so that I can read the velocities, because we're going to want the velocities on these. All right, let me get you set up here. Get my ears on. We are hot, so I can start shooting. I got new targets out there. This is sighted in, so I don't expect to have issues with impact points. So let's go on. This is the magazine I'm going to use. This is a new magazine. You've seen it before, but it's a composite. It's got metal feed lips and a plastic body, and it's been working really, really well. I like it a lot. All right, stand by. All right, everything shot fine. Everything shot good. The first one, show you the primers here. Again, primers are a poor, we're into digital, a poor representation of pressures. These are they're either I don't remember. I'd have to look at my load. I think they're either small rifle magnums, or they're 41s. I believe they're small rifle magnums. So there's our starting load. There's our next load up. There's our next load up. There's our top load. I see no swipes on that brass. No excessive flattening. This was definitely the hottest load. It felt good. It shot good. The only one with a problem is the first load. For accuracy, and the last shot was me. The shot when you see the target all the way to the right was me. I got really loose on the gun and I touched the trigger, and I shouldn't have shot when I did. So probably all the shots would have been good. I saw 2469, and the sun is just about wrong for reading that. So let me read it. Let me read it here and tell it to you. Put you on the tripod. I saw for the beginning load, it was 2268. And we were at 23, pretty good sized jumps. 2340. I believe, average. And then this one was 2469 for the top load. I saw 2430. So quite a jump in velocity, and quite a difference in velocity. I should have looked at these as they started. And this one is back down. So the top load, so we had a quirk load. The top load is, the last bullet was 24, just over 2400. I would have liked to see this better than 2450 based on where this should have been loaded, but can't really say that because I'm seating these out farther than the book load calls for. So that's going to lower pressures, which is going to lower velocities. I believe this was a top load in the book. I don't know if I exceeded it or not, because of my seating out longer. But as you can see, no swipes, no marks on that brass whatsoever. So we can certainly go with some more powder if it fits in there. These are usually quite compressed. I know these loads over here with the 125 are really compressed. And I've loaded some with the Game Changer with the green tip, and I don't like it. It's excessively compressed. And I'm not afraid of compressed loads. The problem is they're so compressed that the bullet creeps back out. There's no crimp groove on these. The bullet creeps back out. And these are ball powders, which don't compress well. So when you compress them, they're almost under pressure, and they want to push the bullet back out. This happened to me with the 160 grain FTX bullet made for the 30-30. I thought it would make a really good blackout bullet for hunting because it expands at such a low velocity, and it would be a dynamite load bullet, but it's got such a long taper on the boat tail, and it's such a long bullet, it really encroaches on powder capacity, and I wasn't able to get much over 1850, 1860. Now we're talking about a blackout, not the HAM'r. And what would happen was, it was 1680 powder. It would, by the time I got to the range, the bullets were pushed out so far that they wouldn't feed from the magazine anymore. So that's a no-go. You could put a factory crimp on it, a leaf factory crimp, but I don't like doing that. I don't like that. You're hard on the brass mouths, and you're crushing the sides of the bullet. I don't know that it's going to hurt anything inside the yardages we're shooting. It may actually benefit a little bit for expansion and cut it back, because it expands easy. It acts like a crimp ring or an internal pinch on the core. But it's totally unproven. It's just guessing. So you're better off not going there unless you're going to do a lot of testing and see. So I just stopped. it. So basically I'm just talking to you because I want the barrel to cool down. It's pretty warm. We went through 3, 6, 9, 12 rounds. And we're in the shade, but it's warming up. It's probably 75 or 76 degrees. And I can feel the heat in the air. It's going to be a little warmer today. We've had beautiful days in the 70s. It's probably going to be 80 today. But just let this cool down, and we're on a hot range, so I can't go down to check the target. But I can look at what's out there, and they're not stellar. They're hunting accuracy groups. They're probably, the last group is probably right at 1.25 inches. The one before it, the other two are probably both at 1.5 inches, but there's 2 bullets in the hole and then 1 to the side. And although I'm being careful, I'm not trying for ultimate accuracy. Tried to produce a good group so that we know what we've got. But this gun shoots pretty good, but it is plagued with a little bit of trouble from a heavy trigger. So, all right, I'm just rambling. Let's wait for a ceasefire and go down and check those bullet holes and report back to you. I'm going to shoot some more in the meantime, and I'll just show you the holes when we get down there. Yeah, walking here up on the target. And this is for the 300 HAM'r. This one is totally me. Although it only brought it out to maybe 1.25 inches, that was totally me. This should have been in here somewhere. But this was slow velocity 22 and change, high 22s for 125 grain. So a little bit on the light side. Here's the next one. And again, if I really buckle down, this would probably tighten up a little bit. You got 2 in 1 hole there. That's pretty good. This was just over 23. This one here, again, probably just over 1 inch, so acceptable. This one here's 2, probably just over 1 inch. It's not much more. And this one here, I only looked at 1 bullet. I should have looked at more, but one of the ones I looked at was 2469. So I was happy, but I think it was a quirk. I think most of the other ones were down slower. And here's the last one. And I didn't look at these until the last shot. The last shot was just over 2400. But that's inside 1 inch. But you can see we got stuff going on because this one's only 1.25 inches low. This one's a full 1.5 inches low. This one's a full 1.5 inches low and to the right. No changes were made to the scope. And this one is a full 2 inches low plus, and then another probably 1 inch to the right. So definitely something's going on as far as ballistics in the barrel, you know, bullets performance in the barrel, velocity. So we know we got nodes changing and things adjusting. And then I did adjust the sights because I fired, these are 5 of those 125 Sierra Pro Hunters, and this is probably me, because this is how it usually shoots. You know, that's 1 inch, and it's 5 shots, so we opened up to 1.25 inches, and this one shot low, so I knew something had happened, and I believe I know what it was. I took the fore end off the handguard, and I put a Arca rail adapter on it, and I put it back on. So I probably torqued it a little bit different, adjusted it a little different, and it affected how things are. So I come over here and I adjusted the scope, and I fired 2 different bullets, and they both pretty much went in the same spot. So it's still a little bit low, and a little bit right, but I can adjust that. So I'll give it another couple clicks up, because I'd like it to be just above the bull. You know, maybe a 1/2 inch, 1 inch high, no more than 1 inch high. And to the right, I can kick that over. So there we go. The HAM'R's a winner. These bullets shot just fine. No pressures at that top load. So I will probably go a little bit more powder from there. Maybe I'll drop it. I usually go 1/2 grain. I don't know what I did with these. I don't have my load written down. I just have the load number. So back on the bench, I'll adjust it and come out with a couple more and try it again. But as you can see, they shoot. So no worries there. All right. That's it. God bless everybody. Ow.